I don't know. I mean, I don't think we should have touched the rule of the steel blocks. I mean, I know you get a lot of guys, they've been saying this for years. Oh, well, it's cheaper to fix a aluminum block. Well, I can tell you, quite frankly, I don't know a lot of engine builders that want to touch a fucking broken block or a cracked block, period. So, um, at the end of the day, we're not fixing, like we'll sleeve a steel block. I mean, if it needs it in the cylinders. So if that's what happens, like we're going to sleeve an aluminum block in the same situation. But if you go chunk something out of the side of a block, whether it's a steel or aluminum, we're replacing the block. We're not fixing it. And I think I think they were thinking that maybe there's uh, very few blocks out there to buy that are steel, which is also bullshit. I think. I mean, I don't know the reasons for it, but like the only thing I would say is it's too big of an advantage if the weight isn't put in the right spot. Um, the added weight, if you do run the aluminum block, if it's not put in the right spot, and to my knowledge, they're putting it on the motor plate, which I think is totally wrong. It needs to be placed way further forward if you're going to allow somebody to run an aluminum block. I just don't know why we would mess with the rule like this. I don't think it's going to add us any cars. I really don't think that's going to, oh man, the 360s are going to grow now because we got aluminum blocks. I don't see that happening. Um, I think it's going to cause a lot of confusion for everybody. I mean, and initially the block that they were going to go with was the block that Brodix made that was spec however many years ago. And now they're opening up to any aluminum block, which I think is a big mistake as well. So I think if you allow a guy to build a Donovan aluminum block 360, I think that's too much of an advantage unless the weight is properly placed. And then the next question is, are we checking this weight every night to make sure some guy's not fudging it and putting less weight up there? I don't know. I don't see it as a good thing. I think it's making more work for tech guys if they're going to tech it properly. And like I say, I don't think you're going to see like 10 new teams show up because, oh man, we got these aluminum blocks. I think the guys that'll spend the money will put a badass Donovan block under a 360 because they have the money to spend. And I think that's the wrong direction for 360 racing to go.
So I'm actually polar opposite. I think it's a great move. I've had 3 different times in my career I've flipped and broken blocks because you have to lighten them so much to get the weight off. And you just throw the block away at that point. And I've got an aluminum motor. I've blown it up twice. We had to weld on it a little bit the first time, and it was repairable. We didn't have to worry about lightening it. From my steel 360 that we had to lighten compared to my aluminum block not having to lighten it was about a $1,200 difference. So we saved $1,200 with an aluminum block compared to the steel block being fully lightened. So I like that. I will say it doesn't run as good. There's no question about that. I feel like my steel stuff definitely runs better than my aluminum 360, and it's shown that actually even on the dyno. But I think the biggest thing is the control of it, right? Like, when you talk about what Sam said, you're going to open it up to where anyone can run any block. I think you're opening up a can of worms. And I also think putting the weight, wherever you want is a problem. I don't think you can not run weight. California, we've been allowing aluminum 360s for 2 years now, so it's not really a big deal. We've seen it. We haven't seen any performance differences. No one with an aluminum block is winning races or getting their ass kicked every night. But our rule is 2 25-pound weights, one on the left side triangle, one on the right side triangle, so it's as close to the block as you can get. And I genuinely can't feel a difference. I know that the biggest push out here for the aluminum block being allowed is, quite honestly, a lot of engine builders for guys out here were saying they were having a hard time getting the blocks during COVID. I don't know if that's fixed or not anymore, but I don't have a problem with it if they police it correctly. I do think they're opening up a huge can of worms. Now we've got 2 different kinds of block materials, but they went through this with 410s as well, and I feel like all ended up sorting itself out anyways. Um, but again, when you allow something new with no restraints, you're going to run into severe problems. And that's the first thing is guys with money are going to spend more money to get the advantage. So I hope that they kind of pull the reins back on that and walk into this, don't run into it.